machines to the School for the Blind. We're building bridges and breaking barriers. In education, we're working to improve literacy and access to technology. Our enrichment program has impacted thousands of students in primary schools through initiatives like our Science Lab renovation project and our smart rooms to bridge the digital divide. We're preparing our youths for the future. And in community development, we've spearheaded sustainable projects, fostering resilience and growth within communities. To all partners and volunteers, your dedication has been the cornerstone of our success. And to you, Digicel customers, thank you for supporting us on this extraordinary journey. Here's to the next chapter as we continue to create a world where no one gets left behind. For 2 decades, Digicel Foundation has been helping to build Jamaica. So, with gratitude in our hearts, we reflect on our journey. Since 2004, we've impacted over 806,000 lives. With over 1,600 projects implemented, we've invested over $46 million. In special needs, we've opened doors, ensuring inclusivity and empowerment. Whether we're building or expanding special needs schools, building awareness through events like a 5K walk, run, wheel for special needs, or providing Braille machines to the School for the Blind, we're building bridges and breaking barriers. In education, we're working to improve literacy and access to technology. Our enrichment program has impacted thousands of students in primary schools through initiatives like our Science Lab renovation project and our smart rooms to bridge the digital divide. We're preparing our youths for the future. And in community development, we've spearheaded sustainable projects, fostering resilience and growth within communities. To all partners and volunteers, your dedication has been the cornerstone of our success. And to you, Digicel customers, thank you for supporting us on this extraordinary journey. Here's to the next chapter as we continue to create a world where no one gets left behind. For 2 decades, Digicel Foundation has been helping to build Jamaica. So, with gratitude in our hearts, we reflect on our journey. Since 2004, we've impacted over 806,000 lives. With over 1,600 projects implemented, we've invested over $46 million. In special needs, we've opened doors, ensuring inclusivity and empowerment. Whether we're building or expanding special needs schools, building awareness through events like a 5K walk, run, wheel for special needs, or providing Braille machines to the School for the Blind, we're building bridges and breaking barriers. In education, we're working to improve literacy and access to technology. Our enrichment program has impacted thousands of students in primary schools through initiatives like our Science Lab renovation project and our smart rooms to bridge the digital divide. We're preparing our youths for the future. And in community development, we've spearheaded sustainable projects, fostering resilience and growth within communities. To all partners and volunteers, your dedication has been the cornerstone of our success. And to you, Digicel customers, thank you for supporting us on this extraordinary journey. Here's to the next chapter as we continue to create a world where no one gets left behind. For 2 decades, Digicel Foundation has been helping to build Jamaica. So, with gratitude in our hearts, we reflect on our journey. Since 2004, we've impacted over 806,000 lives. With over 1,600 projects implemented, we've invested over 46 million US dollars. In special needs, we've opened doors, ensuring inclusivity and empowerment. Whether we're building or expanding special needs schools, building awareness through events like a 5K walk, run, wheel for special needs, or providing Braille machines to the School for the Blind, we're building bridges and breaking barriers. In education, we're working to improve literacy and access to technology. Our enrichment program has impacted thousands of students in primary schools through initiatives like our Science Lab renovation project and our smart rooms to bridge the digital divide. We're preparing our youths for the future. And in community development, we've spearheaded sustainable projects, fostering resilience and growth within communities. To all partners and volunteers, your dedication has been the cornerstone of our success. And to you, Digicel customers, thank you for supporting us on this extraordinary journey. Here's to the next chapter as we continue to create a world where no one gets left behind. For 2 decades, Digicel Foundation has been helping to build Jamaica. So, with gratitude in our hearts, we reflect on our journey. Since 2004, we've impacted over 806,000 lives. With over 1,600 projects implemented, we've invested over 46 million US dollars. In special needs, we've opened doors, ensuring inclusivity and empowerment. Whether we're building or expanding special needs schools, building awareness through events like a 5K walk, run, wheel for special needs, or providing Braille machines to the School for the Blind, we're building bridges and breaking barriers. In education, we're working to improve literacy and access to technology. Our enrichment program has impacted thousands of students in primary schools through initiatives like our Science Lab renovation project and our smart rooms to bridge the digital divide. We're preparing our youths for the future. And in community development, we've spearheaded sustainable projects, fostering resilience and growth within communities. To all partners and volunteers, your dedication has been the cornerstone of our success. And to you, Digicel customers, thank you for supporting us on this extraordinary journey. Here's to the next chapter as we continue to create a world where no one gets left behind. For 2 decades, Digicel Foundation has been helping to build Jamaica. So, with gratitude in our hearts, we reflect on our journey. Since 2004, we've impacted over 806,000 lives. With over 1,600 projects implemented, we've invested over 46 million US dollars. In special needs, we've opened doors, ensuring inclusivity and empowerment. Whether we're building or expanding special needs schools, building awareness through events like a 5K walk, run, wheel for special needs, or providing Braille machines to the School for the Blind, we're building bridges and breaking barriers. In education, we're working to improve literacy and access to technology. Our enrichment program has impacted thousands of students in primary schools through initiatives like our Science Lab renovation project and our smart rooms to bridge the digital divide. We're preparing our youths for the future. And in community development, we've spearheaded sustainable projects, fostering resilience and growth within communities. To all partners and volunteers, your dedication has been the cornerstone of our success. And to you, Digicel customers, thank you for supporting us on this extraordinary journey. Here's to the next chapter as we continue to create a world where no one gets left behind. For 2 decades, Digicel Foundation has been helping to build Jamaica. So, with gratitude in our hearts, we reflect on our journey. Since 2004, we've impacted over 806,000 lives. With over 1,600 projects implemented, we've invested over 46 million US dollars. In special needs, we've opened doors, ensuring inclusivity and empowerment. Whether we're building or expanding special needs schools, building awareness through events like a 5K walk, run, wheel for special needs, or providing braille machines to the School for the Blind, we're building bridges and breaking barriers. In education, we're working to improve literacy and access to technology. Our enrichment program has impacted thousands of students in primary schools through initiatives like our Science Lab renovation project and our smart rooms to bridge the digital divide. We're preparing our youths for the future. And in community development, we've spearheaded sustainable projects, fostering resilience and growth within communities. To all partners and volunteers, your dedication has been the cornerstone of our success. And to you, Digicel customers, thank you for supporting us on this extraordinary journey. Here's to the next chapter as we continue to create a world where no one gets left behind. For 2 decades, Digicel Foundation has been helping to build Jamaica.
Yes.
So,
All right. Morning again, everyone. Good morning, everyone. Yes. Okay. Oh, there's Dr. Knife. He had gone upstairs and I was awaiting his return, and he's now addressing the police officers. Dr. Knife can be that way. But welcome to everyone again. It's really good to have you here. We were just awaiting, as I would have said earlier on, persons to arrive and just balancing on the time and everything. But we will definitely get things formally started here this morning. My name is Stepper. I am the Director of Strategic Planning and Community Development at Digicel Foundation. And welcome you all. We are very elated to be here at the University of the West Indies campus, Mona. I myself am no stranger to Mona campus. And it's really good and to be here this morning. We welcome you all to our public lecture on economic sustainability for social development. We are celebrating 20 years as a foundation. You know, yeah, man, you can't make a little nice, man. And I want to say that, you know, it's a public lecture. We are live on Digicel Foundation's YouTube and Facebook spaces. We are live on Mellow FM and iHeart Radio, and of course, being live streamed by the royal team at MITS here at the university. So we are all over and everywhere, and we are right here. And I just want to give you all thanks for being here with us. And it's a great joy. I'm just allowing people to sit in and all this. We give thanks for all of that. Right. So we're going to get it started with the program. So we want to just bring greetings here this morning. And I will definitely start with my CEO, Ms. Charmaine Daniels, to bring greetings. So please make her welcome.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Boy, we're competing with a storm We're competing with so many persons who are pulled now to put an action plan together. So even though we're few in numbers, we know that they'll be tuning in and they'll be listening. Thank you, though. We thank you for coming out today. So again, good morning. This is a very important public lecture on the economic sustainability for social development. I want to thank Dr. Knife. Firstly, I would like to say a big thank you to the University of the West Indies for their partnership over the years. In recent years, we would have partnered with them, particularly in STEM. We would have done the UE Boost program, Physics Olympiad, Jam Coders, Summer Camp, and we look forward to many more fruitful partnerships. Let me also express my appreciation to the Center for Entrepreneurship Thinking and Practice led by Dr. Knife. Everybody knows Dr. Knife is challenging, right? He challenges me a lot. The center has been dedicated to research, policy making, and supporting social enterprises, which aligns with the mission of Digicel Foundation to ensure that we have more sustainable and a more equitable future. This year, we turn 20. Can you believe that? All right. So that means it's 20 years of helping to build communities across Jamaica, from Pineapple Farms in East Rural St. Andrew and the Bonnygate Women's Group in St. Mary, there they are, to the Hydro Farms in Greentown, Trelawney. Our community development portfolio focuses on fostering a spirit of self-reliance through sustainable projects. Under this portfolio, we would have invested to date a total of US $12 million. This would have impacted over 277,000 lives, and we're not done yet. But while we offer our support to these communities, it is essential to acknowledge that the true heroes are the community groups that we fund. Some of you are sitting here today. We are not the hands and feet on the ground, it's you guys, and we really appreciate your dedication to building Jamaica. We could not be in every community, and you do it, and you do it so well, and we really appreciate, and we thank you very much for working with us. So at the end of this lecture, we'll be celebrating our launch of the 20 for 20 for 20 grant. Anybody knows what that means? All right. Stepper will provide you with more details, but in essence, what it is, we're celebrating 20 years, we're offering 20,000 US, and we're funding 20 projects at that 20 US. Make sure you apply. If you don't apply, you don't have a chance. That's correct. And if there are only 20 groups here, and all of you apply, guess what? Everybody gets on, right? So you have to apply. You have to visit our websites, and that information is in your folder. So I strongly encourage all of you to apply, make the most of grant funding. Securing grant funding is important to the growth and sustainability of your projects. Finally, I'd like to thank all Digicel customers. Without you, I would have no budget. Don't lie, it's true. Without you, I would have no budget. So you guys, you're just enabled us to build Jamaica. And so we want to thank you for that and for your continued support. I know this lecture will be insightful. He has been practicing. And I hope that it will spark new ideas and initiatives for sustainable development in you and your groups. Thank you so much for coming, and please feel welcome.
Yes, give another round of applause for my CEO, Ms. Charmaine Daniels. I just wanted to just send out my own big ups to Professor Denzel Williams, the principal of this university, who would have, really allowed us to be here, really supportive of what we have been doing. And all our other partners, Charmaine would have made mention of our partnership on the STEAM and the STEM level. I see Dr. Coy moving around the place around there. So it's a great joy. I want to acknowledge all our partners who are here. And I see Mrs. Jean Lorichin, who is I'm getting used to saying it, immediate past chair of the Digicel Foundation, Mrs. Jean Lorichin, whom much of the 20 years she would have, been there and still there, having inserted her legacy, within the context of our work as social development personnel. So we give thanks. As we move on with the program, wow, yeah, there's nothing long, really just moving it smoothly. I want to welcome to give the introduction of the guest speaker, of the keynote speaker, our dear brother Alan Bernard, who is associate researcher in the Center for Entrepreneurship Thinking and Practice, and also serves as an adjunct lecturer in the Department of Sociology, Psychology, and Social Work here at the UWI Mona. And Alan is no stranger to community development work and has been doing it massively, and we give thanks that we have him here to introduce our brother, Dr. Kadamawi Knife. Make welcome Alan Bernard.
Morning, everybody. I, like many of you, have a little pet peeve. When you come to functions, you usually hear the person introducing the guest speaker say something like this: "This guest speaker needs no introduction." Always tick me off. Today, I am here to introduce a guest speaker who needs no introduction. Knife and I, and Stepper is our junior, mind you. We have been traversing this space for years, and we have been going through hills and valleys, advancing a particular model of development. And this is the first opportunity I've had in almost 25 years to introduce Knife in a formal event. And so I take it very, very seriously. Knife, and I have for Google. You can Google him, and you'll see an 8-page CV. I am not here to read out 8 pages of CV. Knife, an academic, what we consider an activist researcher, a consultant, and most importantly, for our intents and purposes today, a public scholar, has done a lot of work that covers multiple subject matters, ranging from strategic planning and development, youth, community development, entrepreneurship, social entrepreneurship, but overall, advancing a new model or advancing an alternate model for wealth creation. I will highlight just most recent work that he's doing, and I'm happy to have been a part of the team working with him. He's presently revising Jamaica's MSME policy and is also evaluating the MSME landscape in Barbados. These two he's now doing concurrently, and I'm happy to have been a part, or to be a part of that space. As an academic, he has contributed to many scholarly journals. As a consultant and an activist researcher, he has written or collaborated on many national and regional reports that are geared towards impacting policy. And you all know of his work in the community development space. I will say only second to me. But he has done tremendous work across the length and breadth of Jamaica, advancing, again, a sustainable model for community development, but for overall development. I was hoping to see Denzel sitting beside us, Knife, but he's not, but I know he'll see the recording. Knife and I, Director, immediate past year, Knife and I has a running conversation. Every time we get a chance to talk, I'll mention something to him. I would ask him, well, maybe this is not the place for the substance of that conversation, but I'll mention it. I'll ask him, when is it, based on the volume of work that you have done, when is it that we'll be invited to your inaugural professorial lecture? And so I am hoping that the next time I get to introduce Kadamawi Knife, it will be at his inaugural professorial lecture, which is only justified based on his volume of work. Ladies and gentlemen, my friend, my brother, my colleague, and arguably one of the sharpest minds to come out of this University of the West Indies, Dr. Kadamawi Knife.
Remove this. Yes, all. Give thanks, Alan. You know, let me really start by thanking the Digicel team. You know, sometimes, and when I start the presentation, well, I wanted to pay attention to that two picture on the screen right there. One of Step and one of Charmaine. Them don't like people to, when them say big up them and for the work them doing. But I think it's deliberate. That is deliberate. You know, I was saying to Stepper yesterday that I remember when we were going to school at George's. Stepper being my junior though. There is something we learn in religious education, you know. And I'm not such a religious person, you know, but we learn in religious education. And what they actually said in that course is that you don't light a candle and put it under a bushel. You actually put it on a table so it can shine that everyone can see, you know. And it's very important to do that. Why is it important to do that? Because you want models. People want to see models that actually work, you know. And so the objective of this session today is to show persons who operate in the social services sector a model that actually work. When you use meaningful strategic partnerships, I have allocation of resources, yes, and people who are committed to processes of implementing, following, monitoring, and evaluating these processes, it can create significant amount of impact. And as researchers, we like to do things that are evidence-based. So we want the data to speak for ourselves. So I could speak about Digicel Foundation and what they're doing from a very emotive perspective, but in reality, we know that when your work speaks for itself, there is no need to interrupt. And I want to show you the data. But bear in mind as well that while Digicel Foundation has been doing this work, we also know that one hand can't clap. Yes, more than man, many has made the work light. I also learned that man can't kill work. So you always need people to support you to get this thing done. And when you look at the information, with over 1,600 projects being implemented, it means you have over 1,600 partners, and those are direct beneficiaries. When you think about state institutions that are linked into this partnership, it is even more crucial, and we'll see it. You know, so if you're entering into a community, you need to talk to a SDC or an NHT. If you're doing business development, you need to be talking to a JBDC, a RAD, a Bureau, Standard Jamaica, SRC, and there are many other institutions. All those institutions are also linked into different ministries, and in reviewing the work, we have seen where the foundation have worked with so many different ministries, directly and indirectly. Ministry of Education, Ministry of Industry, Investment and Commerce. You have to talk about environmental programs in ministries that deals with the environment. You can't call the names of those ministries because the names change so rapidly. From time to time, the name will change, but you can know the subject area. Yes, we're speaking about SDCs, you have to Ministry of Local Government, many institutions. So it's really to show that when we create strategic partnerships, we can implement meaningful programs and projects that impact people's lives in a meaningful and sustainable way. So we use this, the topic, economic sustainable for social movement, the quadruple bottom line model, Digicel Foundation. What do we mean by the quadruple bottom line model? We have 4 different areas of creating value: economic value, social value, environmental value, and cultural value. And let me move through the presentation because I will speak without moving the slides. So note, if you review the idea of sustainable development, it focuses on these 4 elements. How do you create economic value? We need money to sustain your operations. How do you create social value? Because it's about impacting people's life and the broader social space. Yes? How do you create environmental value? The whole idea of sustainability is one where you say you want to create a situation where the current generation, while satisfying their needs, doesn't jeopardize the ability of future generations to satisfy their needs as well. So it's both intra and intergenerational equity, but working together with the environment in a sustainable way. And finally, cultural value. One of our brethren come home, Alan, come out with the kind of phrase Jamaica, the cultural superstate, and nobody can question the global footprint of Jamaica, the global cultural footprint of Jamaica. So that is who we are. So it's very important to do that as well. But here's the context that we're operating in for 20 years. From the Millennium Development Goals to the Sustainable Development Goals. You know, we have the MSME policies, and of course the medium-term social policy framework. Jamaica has always had the idea of becoming a logistic hub through the special economic zone areas, but they are emerging sectors. And while these are emerging, these are not new for Digicel. We're talking about the orange economy. That's the cultural and creative space. You see the amount of projects that are supported in the cultural and creative space. You're talking about the blue economy, which has to do with the ocean. And you see the amount of projects that they have supported as it relates to the ocean components and maintain the ocean. Green economy. There's agriculture and different forms of energies. And you see a specific program targeting agriculture as well. And of course, what is now called the silver economy. The silver economy is places where persons produce goods and services to support those who are above the age of 50. And you know there's a rapidly aging population globally. And importantly, what we call senior entrepreneur financial literacy, digital literacy. These are all things that the foundation has been supporting even before we have written these things into a policy. And the most crucial element of how do we mainstream the most vulnerable in the development agenda across gender, youth, persons with special needs, and climate change. And I'm showing you that all of the Digicel programs, they have programs that support gender mainstreaming, youth mainstreaming, persons with special needs, and of course climate change. And if you just want to go and look, and I'm using this presentation specifically to show how we should do that, in terms of how they present the data. When you look at their reports, how they present the data. If you look at the infrastructure of the organization, because mainstreaming vulnerable groups is also about infrastructure readiness. It's one of the few organizations you will go to, and the building is actually designed to accommodate persons with special needs. But if you go to PIOJ, you use something like that as well, because PIOJ have the elevator with the braille as well. But the institution itself, the building done by Digicel Foundation, you could see all of this thing being mainstream within infrastructure, which is what we need to be doing. As a country, is what we need to be doing. We have signed on to all these different conventions, like the UN CRP, the UN Council for Persons with Disabilities. We have signed on to those. We have created Disabilities Act. We have created the Gender Act as well in 2014. We have Youth Acts. We have all those things, but how is acting? Because I don't see the budget directed towards effecting those policies and those acts. Thankfully though, we have private sector organizations who through their foundations support these things. We also have some state institutions who have gotten funding, who support programs and projects in the social service sector which helps to mainstream this. But in terms of a state strategy, we have created the acts, but we have not actually provided the resources to make this thing work. So if you look at Jamaica's data, and this data I take directly from Digicel Foundation because they have a habit of collating information but not putting it out there. Again, because they don't want to big up the institution too much. But I'm saying let us big up the foundation. When you do the work, you need people to know what is actually happening. If you look at this seems something that is almost gloomy. Life expectancy of 70 years old. Mean school education, 9.2 years. We spend about 5 or 6 years in primary school. That means we spend about 3 or 4 years in secondary school. Remember, if you have only primary education, it can only lead to primary production as an extractive industry. Secondary education is supposed to match with secondary production, which is manufacturing. We know the highest form of development is in service industries. Say about tertiary education, we are still 9.2. So it's not a coincidence why we find that the country struggles to move forward, because the educational program is not in tandem with what the development program should be. But again, we have an organization that is building out a lot of programs to support education. Look at the Gini per capita income, $8,000. Now, look at the vision of Jamaica. And when you have organization, one of your roles is to ensure that your strategy is aligned to the national development strategy. So, Jamaica's vision, Jamaica, the place of choice to live, work, raise families, and do business. That is the vision. And we have about 4 goals. What is goal number 1? That all Jamaicans are empowered to achieve their fullest potential. How do you empower people to achieve their fullest potential? Education, healthcare, food and nutrition, all those things are crucial. Do we have the program to support that? Supported by mainstream market mechanisms, you know. It's not supported by mainstream market, yet about other organizations celebrating now with Bala. I never like you in the high school because the charge is not going on. As a dangerous midfielder, and Andy was by Bala. But the man's program of youths in football, when I spoke to Virgil about this program, it's not a football program Virgil's running. He must run a mind program. How do we develop the minds of young people? Because it's very strong. You can do anything you want. That's why I learned about the program. I brought him from August on his skating ring program as well. So it's about how do we empower people? The Jamaica society is cohesive and just. How do we do those things? So with our partners who are part of the JSF, I saw Mark Albin earlier. The Jamaica Safety and Security branch in the JSF was a key partner in every program that we do. From we started the research in 2008, 2009, along with the UNDP program, we had identified that the Community Safety and Security branch have been central to whatever we're going to do for Jamaica's development. The Jamaican economy is prosperous. That's about businesses. Now, we focus a lot on social enterprises and MSME development. Why is that so? Because MSMEs, micro, small, and medium enterprises, are the ones that endogenize growth the most. What do we mean by that? When they operate a business, the benefit goes directly and stays locally. Yes? We're not looking for a trickle-down model with a foreign direct investment, which leads to actually leakages within the Clean Up the Harbour program as well. So that an organization that is doing things by itself is always partnering with several different entities to make things work. So if you look at what the outcomes are, you could see how the program actually matches back to the outcomes. If you go to the broader level of the Sustainable Development Goals, zero hunger, zero poverty, good health and education, good health and well-being, quality education, gender equality, clean water and sanitation, those are the 6 foundation principles. And again, when you review the program being implemented, you are seeing how these programs actually support all of these 6 key foundational objectives within the SDGs. That is very important. What the research has shown is that if we do not support the social services sector, and remember at MIC, the Ministry of Industry and Commerce is a social enterprise working group. If we do not support those groups, there's no way, it is impossible for Jamaica to achieve Vision 2030, and let me repeat that. If we do not support the social enterprise working group and those who operate in the social services sector, it is impossible for us to attain Vision 2030. Why is that so? Because if you revisit the goals, only goal number 3 speaks about the economy being prosperous, which is what the private sector operators usually focus on. The other 3 goals are things related to the work of the social services sector. As a matter of fact, social enterprises also support goal number 3 because a social enterprise is a mission-driven organization that generates economic, social, cultural, and environmental value through a diversified and independent income stream. Means that we have to make money to sustain our operation. So we promote social enterprises who operate as businesses using good business practices. And you need to make more money than a regular business because you're talking about impacting a large number of people's lives. But the foundation is not just a Jamaican-centric foundation. It's of a regional footprint. It operates in Haiti, in Trinidad and Jamaica. And when in CARICOM, we cannot make up our mind about helping Haiti. Digital is busy building over 200 schools in Haiti. 200 schools. I'm the Minister of Education in Haiti.